Hi, this is Coach World TV. I'm Laurie Lawson, and tonight I am so pleased to say that my guest is Limor Tamir. Hey, Limor Tamir.
Hi.
I have to tell you, Limor was my guest about 4 years ago on Coach World TV, and I think we decided that cemented our relationship because we had such a great time on the show, and she had so much information. And she is visiting from Israel, and I convinced her to do this all over again. So thank you very much for taking time. I know you're running around trying to meet hundreds of people that you know and before you go back home. But tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. I know you came and you were here for a year or so, and then you went back to Israel. So what have you been doing in the last couple of years in Israel?
I was here for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I came to rearrange my life because I had multiple sclerosis, and I had to do some resting and rearranging my life again.
Again,
all over again.
A job never done, yes.
And I went back to Israel, and I started to be a wellness coach. I'm working with Ilana Rogel. I said it last time in the show we had, I think 3.5 years ago. And my dream was for us to open a center, and that's what we did.
I can't believe it. She said, I have to go back because I want to open a center, a wellness center in Israel. And I went, all right, if you have to. And she did it. She actually did it.
I did it with Ilana and with my girlfriend and with Ilana's husband, Gidon. We are a crew of 4 people. And we had this big dream because Ilana brings a lot of information, and we are all taking part in this big project of hers.
Amazing. Let's tell them a little bit about Ilana and who she is. Last time, Ilana had this magnificent book that weighed 1 million pounds, but was just absolutely gorgeous, called On Green and Gray Matter. And tell us just a little bit about that book, because it was really kind of revolutionary and so comprehensive. It just included everything.
It is revolutionary. We said it at the first show. It talks about the cause of illnesses on the emotional level, and it talks about nutrition on the emotional level. How we need to have an emotional fuel, the right emotional fuel. That food is not just something that when we're hungry we just eat it. It's a certain fuel to help us act, to maximize our potential, our emotional potential.
And if I recall, I believe that the book has nutrition, astrology, channeling, and what is the other? There's some, and scientific data also.
It's a dictionary of all the frequencies of all the food we have on planet Earth. So if you're eating a tomato and you want to understand what's the frequency of that, how emotionally, if it suits you or doesn't suit you.
Now, when you say frequency, you're saying what you're saying is like how the food resonates with the rest of your body, how it
resonates with you, first of all, emotionally.
Okay.
Because if you are a very angry person and you're red, are you going to feed yourself with more red? We're talking about energy. So this is the energy of the food, the DNA of the food.
Okay.
So the first part of the book talks about the DNA of the food, what fish talks about, meat, vegetables, fruits. It's like a dictionary. And it's all been done by channeling. The whole work that Ilana does is a research with the cosmos. She has a group of cosmic guides that she works with them.
Just amazing.
And she's representing planet Earth from here, and they represent the cosmos, and she has a dialogue with them. I know it sounds a bit fictional. But
science fictional, but
it's amazing.
What we're asking you to do, I guess, is just suspend what you think you know and just listen. I mean, because that's really, we're taking, Ilana takes us to a different realm. She really goes a little bit above what we all know, and she has a waiting list now of people who are just dying. I don't want to say dying, who are very anxious to see her. They're not necessarily dying, some may be. So this is catching on, no matter what your beliefs are. So what we're doing, the purpose of this show is to expand horizons and bring new ideas, and I think Limor is going to be doing that amazingly tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because it's in English, it's not so easy. Anyway, what we are able to see is 170, 180% of what exists, because that's what we can see. But there is a 360 degrees situation. And what Ilana can do is she can zoom out. She can teach us how to zoom out and see more of the picture that we got. because we only see a bit of the situation, a bit of reality, and we get to see more of the picture.
Okay.
We understand ourselves better by that. We understand that we have a soul part and the flesh part.
Which I think almost everybody listening believes that. You know, there's a spiritual and a soul and a human part.
Yes, but once you get to learn what the soul talks about and what are the ideas behind it, you get to understand this machine much better. So we have to first go to the philosophical ideas that behind everything. It's as if you build a machine now, and you think, oh, this button is going to be for this, and this button is going to be for that. You make a plan. So there was a plan for us human beings by divinity before we even came in here. So what she's talking about, that every organ in our body is equivalent to an emotional behavior.
That's fascinating. Let me ask you before I start, because I really want to ask you about that, and we'll talk about the newest book that she has, one of many coming out. Do people who are unwell, are those the people that are, you know, in line to see her, or can you just go for a general tune-up or to make sure you're on the right road, or is it people with severe illnesses?
I think people that have severe illnesses are the first to be in line, because if they're not just interested in taking medicine and treating the symptoms, and they know that she has information and she can guide them, like that's what I did 6 years ago when I went with multiple sclerosis, and I've cured it.
Let's ask how you are. How are you?
I'm totally healthy.
Her doctor keeps
healthy.
going, what are you doing?
I've stopped taking
she stopped
medication.
taking meds,
But I had to do a lot, and I'm still doing a lot of consciousness work and a lot of awareness, and I know what creates the seizure. So I know how to behave, I know what to eat, I know how not to attack myself emotionally.
Right.
So the immune system doesn't attack my nervous system. I just know it so well by now. So I can, because I know the philosophical idea behind the disease, so I know how to behave with it here on planet Earth.
Amazing. And I just wanted to, before we talk about the new book, just tell you how exquisite the book is that Ilana has actually done. You can, if you want to know the frequency, as Limor says, you can turn to a page about tomatoes. If you want to know the astrological sign under which you're operating, it's just a beautiful. I've never seen anybody put so many elements together, and yet it makes it's a book that it's almost like the encyclopedia used to be long ago before Google. You had to have it.
Yeah,
you had, because there's nothing else out there like it, and it just really explains it. So tell us, this is. I know this looks like a very thin book, but I'm going to tell you.
This is 650 pages.
Yes, it's a DVD. I mean, a CD.
It's a CD.
And it's.
It took about 1.5 years to translate it to English.
But it's in English now, and the name of the new book is On Perfect Random Order. So tell us, if you can, and this we're going to have some fun with, because this is her latest revelation. So tell us a little bit about what is this book trying to tell us?
So I can tell you that basically I think that we mainly opened the center with the help of this book because we needed to explain, Ilana needed to build a course of 12 sessions to explain the theories that she's bringing and the perception that she's bringing.
Tell me the name of the center.
Migdalo.
Migdalo, and you're going to see that on the bottom of the screen.
It means
lighthouse, which is a guide, which is fantastic. Migdalo, and you can find out more information about that at the migdalo.net, which is on the bottom of the screen. And when you say center, what happens at that center before we talk about this marvelous book?
So at that center, basically Ilana is giving lectures. Once a month she's giving a pre-lecture about the course, about the spirit. What is the spirit? And what is the spirit's relationship with the substance?
Okay.
About the two parts, so we understand what it is, because these are big words.
Yes.
And also, every 3 months we have a new course starting of 12 lessons of 3 hours each, explaining the philosophical ideas behind the organs. And once we understand the philosophical ideas that was planned before it became an organ, actual organ, when somebody gets sick, if I have a problem with my kidneys, and I know what was the philosophical, emotional, because it was first an idea, then the organ, then I know how to treat someone, I know how to treat myself, because I understand emotionally where I moved out of balance. Because this is just like a map.
Your
so
body,
whenever something goes wrong, we run to the doctor, we take something to help the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But in our center, we really want to understand what created it, what is the cause of the illness. And we always know it's emotional that leads to a physical.
So it's the thought and feeling first, and then the actuality.
You first plan something, then you make it.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to the philosophical idea of divinity. Why did it create kidneys, skin, heart, pancreas?
Mm-hmm.
And once somebody is ill in one of these organs, we know what has to be done emotionally to go back to balance. And then it takes longer with the physical because the mind is so fast you can fix it in a second. But this is substance, it takes more
Mm-hmm.
time. It can take a few months, or maybe a year. It took me about a year to stop my illness, but it stopped.
To stop.
Because once I
MS.
understood,
That's amazing, yes.
as soon as I understood what creates the seizure, and I explained it in my last show here,
Mm-hmm.
which it's the nervous system. It has to do with listening inside, inner communication.
Mm-hmm.
You can read about it in the first book. As soon as I understood it, I knew what I had to fix. Then my matter, my physical condition got better by the time, and now it stopped. But if I misbehave with myself again and attack myself, and I don't give myself immunity, then my immune system can attack my nervous system again, and I can have a seizure.
So in a sense, what you're saying is symptoms and pain are messages.
Totally, very clear messages.
Yes.
When you
just
come to our
saying.
center and you go through this course, you look at life in a totally different perspective. You have so much more of the picture that I think the medicine industry is going to maybe bomb our center.
Not that we would put it past them, but
No.
she's just kidding. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Just in case, yeah. I understand that these courses are so hot that so many people want to get them, but you don't even advertise.
We don't advertise because people say it from word to mouth, and we're having now conventional doctors coming and hearing about what causes the illness. And we have all kinds of healers, Chinese healers, Japanese, whatever. This is like an umbrella above all
It's amazing.
the different methods
Mhm.
to explain the ideas of this physical thing and the spiritual thing. So there's a
I've
lot of
always
knowledge.
wanted a doctor who had a foot in both worlds. You know, I want him to know of all the
I
myths
think
and
that
everything I need.
the world
Yeah.
is going this way. The world is going this way.
I think so too.
And there's a lot of consciousness work to do. We have to shift our consciousness to a new place, and I think it's happening. And Ilana is she's the big voice for that.
She is. I'm not sure there's anybody out there doing
I
what
don't think
she's
anyone
doing.
else is. I work with her, and I look at her, and I'm just stunned by the amount of information and the preciseness that she has to everything she speaks about.
I was stunned by the first book, so I cannot believe when Limor tells me there's another book coming and it has even more, and I'm going, more? What on earth could she put more?
She's
Tell
already
us.
working on the fourth book. She's now working on the brain. This is
I
a whole
know.
big
That,
new
and
project.
that is such a hot subject. That's going to be
This
amazing.
is like Obama gave $10 million to work on this. She's going to do it on her own, and I think she's going to go.
Hopefully together. Maybe they're together. They'll get where they're
I
going.
think when she sits together with a scientist, they're going to flip out.
You think?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Because I told you, scientists, they can check out anything in the microscopes, in the labs, but they always check out history.
Yeah.
You cannot measure a smile. You cannot measure an emotion. She
Right.
knows all about emotions. And you got to put the two together so we get the whole picture.
It is the most comprehensive, I don't even know what to say, most comprehensive research or just compilation of everything that being human and means. And it's all in this little book that Ilana did. What has she added extra to on random perfect order? Or maybe tell us, what does on random perfect order mean?
Maybe you tell me. You know English better than me. It means that nothing happens just like that. And that the cosmos, planet Earth is a part of the big cosmos. There's many other planets in the cosmos.
Right.
But there is a perfect order in the cosmos. But it seems like everything is random, but it is random. Yeah, but it's on a perfect order. Nothing is for no reason, and no colors. Everything is at the right place at the right time. That's all I can. You have to interview Ilana for that.
Let me challenge the audience and just say, okay, remember something where you thought, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world that's ever happened, and I don't understand. And then a couple months later, you look back and you go, oh my God,
Exactly.
this was so perfect.
Exactly.
That's what Limor is saying, and Ilana is saying. It's,
And I want to take it back to the disease.
mhm.
If you believe yourself, if I believe, I'll talk about myself. If I believe myself
Mhm.
that my soul wouldn't do anything to hurt me because she's for me,
Mhm.
then I understand that an illness is not something bad that happened to me. That's how I look at the message differently.
Mm.
I understand that my soul has a message to me and trying to speak to me and trying to tell me something. And not then this whole victim thing, I look at it in 180, the other side of the picture.
Not to be confused with, because I'm a proponent of, I hate when people blame the victim. It's not a matter of blaming the victim, it's a matter of you can take responsibility for what's happening to you, like you did with your MS. So
Yes,
what was your
exactly.
MS telling you?
My MS was telling me personally that I wasn't listening to myself, that I was busy pleasing my family, society, everyone. I don't know why I had these kind of thoughts. Probably wanted to be loved like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sold my soul in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I got married with a man when I wanted to live with a woman, but it has so many other fields in life, so many
Right.
other layers. The type of work that I was doing at a shop, serving so many people, and so I just stopped.
So the
I sta-
MS was the warning sign to you. It's like, well, you
The,
take care of
the
yourself.
MS was
Be true to yourself.
There was a lead on the map. I have a map. Everyone has a map,
Mhm.
a contract, a life contract, and it was just saying, "Hey, you're going off the road. You're so off the road. Get back to the main road. This is not what you came to do here."
Ah,
Okay, and that was it. And once I understood it, and that's what I do with my clients too, with
Now,
every
how
illness.
do you work with, because I know that you and Ilana have this tight relationship and you help each other. How do you work with Ilana? What she imparts the information.
Ilana
and
brings the info.
let's say I waited in line for many days, many years, and I finally got to see Ilana. And then I don't want to say a reading, but I meet with her for an hour or so. And then where do you come in? What happens?
So, tons of people go to Ilana,
Mm-hmm.
and a few people come to me as well. But not all the people that go to Ilana come to me. Some people
Right.
are not sick. They just go to Ilana because they want to know what to eat, how to eat, what's their life contract. She has the ability to look at everyone's life contract and to
Mm.
tell them how to maximize their potential in a way.
Amazing.
Okay, through
Yeah.
astrology, through numerology, and through she has connections out there. Anyway, so if somebody wants to know how to change the lifestyle, how to,
Mhm.
it's as if you have to go on a new road in a new car with a new fuel. So
Okay.
I'm like the teacher for a few, like 6, 10 meetings.
Mhm.
If somebody wants, they stay longer. But I teach them the language that she brings. I ground the messages. She brings spiritual messages. I ground them to a day-to-day.
Oh, I love that analogy. Yeah,
That's what I do.
you anchor them down and,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
bring them into reality.
So I see exactly, if she talks about self-attacking and they don't know what she's talking about, since I did it with myself so well, I know how to explain somebody that has an immune system problem.
Mm.
We're trying to see where does he attack himself? Where is he in a conflict? Where does he go by his mind too much? And where does he not follow his heart?
Mm.
So every illness has a certain message, and this is what I do with them. But I want to talk about this book more than about me.
Okay, I want you to. I want to find out. Give us an example of you were talking about organs. Give us an example of an organ acting out and what it means. Pick any organ. Or
Okay, so let's take the kidneys, for instance.
Okay.
So the philosophical, emotional idea before divinity built this organ
Mm-hmm.
was about purifying liquids.
Okay.
Yeah, it purifies all the liquids in our bodies.
Right.
Our peace and yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes out very clean, by the way. You can
Yes.
drink it even. So emotionally, it means if somebody suffers from a kidney problem, I'm talking really in general now, and I'm
Mhm.
not. It's so big, and
Right.
it's such a short show.
No, we
I'm
just want to give
I
a
just wanna give
general
you
idea.
a general
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So if I suffer from a urine infection or if I have problems with my kidneys, it could show that I am trying to be too much of a pure person. I don't want to get in dirty situations,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm this perfect, clean person. And we didn't come here to be pure or to just be untouchable
Mm-hmm.
or not touch any dirty situations.
So more concerned, like with the conventions of society, all the rules and all the.
It's people that are dealing too much with their conscious. How am I going to be perceived? And that's not nice. That's not good.
Yes, yes.
And then, when their soul doesn't like it too much, because the soul says, "Hey, we came here to be in an experience. We came here to be in a range of feelings. We can be angry. We can hate for 1 or 2 minutes. We can love. We can be happy." So it means stop trying to be so pure. That's the message, the inner message. It's not stop being so pure to others. Stop being so pure between you and yourself. Just
be honest with yourself.
Be honest with yourself.
Be yourself.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like going to your mother to have lunch now, and you want to stay at home and rest, so don't say, "I'm coming because I'm this perfect daughter," you know? This is just a simple example.
Right.
But it's a way of thinking. So if I'm now coaching someone and I know what's the philosophical idea behind the kidneys, I know this person suffers from too much conscious and doesn't listen to his inner gut again.
So that's where Ilana would pinpoint the problem, and you would bring it on home if
She's
necessary.
telling me this is the problem, and then I take it and help them to get rid of that.
Do one more quick one. Ears. Like if someone is deaf, what would that be saying?
If someone is deaf, it's not a punishment. It means, in general, of course, every case is different, and every creation of everyone is a different message. But in general, it means that I take down the outside volume, because maybe in different lifetimes, or maybe when I was a child, whenever I didn't listen to myself enough. And in order to listen, to have in better tuning in with myself, I have to listen a little bit less on the outside.
Like it. Okay, we talked about even more being added. Music.
Yes.
How is
so
music
this
in here?
This book has a few amazing. Everything is amazing.
Everything is amazing. I mean, you go down the chapters, which we're not going to do.
The chapters here is a few. There's a music chapter. You got all the great symphonies of the great creators that Ilana says they were getting this as they were playing. They were getting it in channeling, because they say, "How come Mozart played when he was 5?"
When you think about it, where do those musical notes come from? How do that always amazes me? Where do they pull it out of the air?
Yeah,
but
I know
what
people.
Air?
Some people are still afraid of the word channeling, but it all talks about communication. You know.
Yeah.
So they were channeling and writing this music, and what they were feeling at the moment, sad or happy or whatever. There is a message in the symphony. You can listen to it now and help yourself. So it has information. Ilana on every piece has information about what do you want to improve emotionally, or what do you want to heal. There's also music here after surgeries, brain surgeries, heart surgeries, and you can just listen to it. And so exactly what we did with the nutrition, how we take the frequency from the nutrition to feed ourselves, so we feed ourselves through our ears too. It all has to do about nutrition in a few levels. Nutrition, music, experiences, it's all nutrition, how you nourish yourself.
She's just taken a multi-level concept and added more levels.
Yes.
Like,
and
what else is in there?
There's also all the crystals in the world. You know how many people, they carry crystals, they go to crystal shops, I want this to feel stronger, I want this.
Right.
So we have channeling on each type of stone, exactly what's the purpose of this stone, what's the healing qualities of this stone. And we have a special chapter here about if the first book spoke about certain illnesses, this book talks about physical pain, the feet pain, aches, or the ear, or the eyes, or headaches, or chronic pains, you know?
Explain the knee concept. That was amazing to me.
The knee concept is very interesting.
They're very interesting.
Well, you know, our legs is how we...
like when we're walking,
okay.
I don't know if this
So I
will be
said the
seen.
first step is to the future, and the back leg goes to the past.
Right.
And they meet in the present for 1 sec, right?
Very, very briefly, yes.
So sometimes when people get pain in their knees, they say, I have infection and this and that, it means that they're afraid from the next step. So let's say you lost your job, or you're moving to a new city, or
you want to get a divorce, but you're afraid to make that step. Whatever.
Usually it's emotional fears. How am I going to cope? How am I going to handle?
Right, yeah.
So the message is in the present, in the knees, the way we walk. So basically, we're not supposed to be so afraid of the future. We're supposed to trust ourselves that we're never really going to harm ourselves, and there isn't really good or bad. Everything serves you for any situation. Well, you can feel something that is bad for you at the moment, but then you look at it a week later or 2 months later and think, it happened for the best. So the knee pain comes to talk about, just keep moving, just keep moving.
Yes, you're working through something, move ahead.
Just go through it, move ahead.
Move along.
Trust yourself, you're never going to take yourself to a bad place.
Wow. That's and everybody's busy replacing their knees. We could talk about that.
Yeah, replacing their knees.
We could talk
They
about
have to
that
replace
for
their thoughts. That's all.
We could talk about that for a long time,
It's
but
just
we won't.
just the perception has to change.
Yeah.
So we have all this
definitely.
information here. What else do we have here? We have okay, music. We said, and of course the whole what is the DNA of the soul? Where do we come from? What happened in the Big Bang? How the soul was created? What was the purpose of planet Earth? Why do we come here? I know most of it, but I'm not gonna. There's too much information here.
We need many shows to get through this.
You
yes.
should just buy this book and read and learn.
Well,
learn
let's
about
tell them where
yourself.
they can find out more because we have like 3 minutes left, so we can still keep talking. But
Okay,
the
so,
website.
so you can see here the website. Most of it is in Hebrew, but we're working on the English. We have on the left side you have an English section. You can read a little bit about the first book and a little bit about the second book. But if you want to purchase it, you can purchase it by PayPal, and you just have to send me an email.
Okay.
And say to me that you want the new book in English.
Now, would they send it to this website or?
There is a make a connection. It says
Okay,
on one
great.
of the make a connection
Okay.
with us. Send me an email, or I can just give my email, which is goodday GOODDAY 1500 @gmail.com,
Okay.
and tell me I saw the show, I like the book, I want to know more. I can write to you more about it. I can also ship you the book, the
Okay.
CD.
The CD, this is so much lighter than the book. The book weighed 1,000,000 pounds, but it's gorgeous and the pictures are fantastic. So you're telling me on this tiny CD there are 660 pages,
650 pages.
and that includes the music that we were talking about?
It includes the music, the stones, the physical pain, the creation of the soul, the creation of the cosmos, of the world, you name it.
Wow. Okay, we've got like almost not quite 2 minutes left. Tell us what else. I know Alana's got some books going on. What else do you guys have planned over there in Israel? And do you have any plans of coming to the United States?
We want to bring Ilana to lecture, but her English is not as, my English is not that great. Her English is not as good as mine. So we're thinking of maybe bringing Ilana to, like what we did 3 years ago. She had the translation online at the same time as she was talking.
Yes, that was an amazing workshop that she did in demonstration of her talents. It was,
And
you
we're
just
all- yes.
sat back and it was an amazement. Yeah.
We're also thinking of doing the course in English next year.
Oh, nice.
We're going to do it maybe on
in
an
Israel.
maybe on an internet webinar, so people from all over the
Great
world can
idea.
study that.
Oh, great
But
idea.
we have to now translate the lessons, the 12 lessons, to English. So we have someone in October coming in to study this. She's an English speaker. She translated this book. Her name is Judy. She's going to go through the course. She's going to understand how to do it in English with Ilana, and we're going to find a way.
And you're going. I know you're in charge of the website. So what they can do is keep going to the website and get for the updates to find out what's new and what's coming. If there
Yes,
would
there's
be a
also another
webinar.
book. There's another book we didn't speak about that came out last year. This one came out 2 years ago, about the Hebrew alphabets and the English alphabets for the first time, and all the frequencies and the DNA of the letters. This is a whole different journey.
Enough. I don't know how Ilana keeps it all in her head.
We don't know.
We
don't know.
are that we are out of time. I am so thrilled that you
Thank
are
you so
here.
much. Thank you.
Yes, and I thank you, and I really hope that you come back before another 3.5 years.
I hope so.
I'm sure
I
there's
hope so.
exciting things going on. So Limor Tamir, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Laurie, very much.
It's always a pleasure to
Thank
find out
you.
what you're doing over there.
Thank you.
Thanks.